We are live. I'm going to give it a second. So, hello everybody. We are back with Staying In with Bae Crate. We are doing this every week where we have some fabulous authors join us on our panel to discuss some of their books and romance in general. We are so excited to have some great authors this week with our Modern Lovers panel. I'm Taylor Sorensen. I'm with Bae Crate, and this is my co-host Michelle.
Hi, my name is Michelle. I am part of the Bae Crate and Bae Crate team, and I'm also on Bookstagram, Bare Book Pages. Taylor, do you want to start us off with the first question?
Yes, so I wanted to ask if Allison, Jennifer, and Sarah would mind introducing yourselves and just telling us a little bit about your latest book.
Sure. Do you want me to start? I can.
Sure, go ahead.
So
Yeah,
I'm Allison Ashley, and I had my debut novel release in March. It's called Perfect Distraction. It is about an oncology pharmacist who falls for a patient getting chemotherapy at the cancer center where she works. It's something that kind of spawned from my job as an oncology pharmacist, and so it was. Although I've never fallen for a patient. I feel like I always need to clarify that. It was really fun and just something, kind of something fun and challenging to write. So.
I love that. Jennifer?
Hi, I'm Jennifer Millikin, and I write very emotional contemporary romance. And I just finished my 8th book. It came out April 7th, and it's One Good Thing. And it is a standalone, but it's a continuation of a character from my 7th book, Beyond the Pale. So it's a broken-hearted man who is traveling across the country and meets a girl who is doing something similar. So,
That's.
I'm like, I feel a little heartbroken already. I love it in the best way. Sarah?
Hi, I'm Sarah Morgenthaler. My debut rom-com, The Tourist Attraction, just came out on May 5th, and it is about a surly Alaskan diner owner who hates the tourists that come to his town, and he finds himself falling for one of them.
aww.
And there's moose. There's lots of moose. The moose steal the show.
I love that. It's so cute. So before we get into questions, let's play an icebreaker game. Let's build our own mini romances. We're gonna work together to build our own romance, and some things we have options on, and some things you can decide in anything you want. So first, let's choose your character. 1, someone just passing through the town. 2, the local coffee shop owner who has a crush on the same guy. And 3, very successful woman who has returned home after a streak of bad luck. So you can choose between all 3.
So you guys are all going to choose together to build one story.
Okay.
So you each get to vote and choose.
So, we're writing those characters, or we're going to be those characters?
You are role-playing your own story, kind of writing your own story.
Oh, okay.
I like the successful woman.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, the small town thing. Yeah, I like that. Or going back to town.
Right.
Awesome. Okay, so we have, and I'm just going to mark this because we're going to post this later. So ignore me as I'm over here marking everything down. So we have a very successful woman who's returned home after a streak of bad luck. Now, of course, we have to choose our romantic interest. We have a local sheriff with a heart of gold, an all-around fix-it kind of handyman who's super gruff and grumbly, or a bar owner with a bit of a bad boy vibe.
That's hard.
I know.
I kind of like the bad boy vibe guy.
Let's do it.
And the bar owner. I like the bar owner part. Yeah.
You got it.
All right.
A bad boy.
I'm a sucker for a bad boy.
It's hard not to be.
Right?
So let's choose our conflict. So the main character is stuck in town despite wanting to leave. The main character doesn't want to help from the hero but keeps needing it. And the main character's fiance shows up, but they broke up.
Ooh. I kind of feel like the fiance showing up would create issue with the bad boy guy. I feel like that could be a big
right, and he'd be more willing to fight for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. I'm like where this is going.
I feel like, do any of you have any idea of why the woman is successful and like what like the bad luck involves? Maybe like do you wanna...
Maybe she had her own business and then people thought, I don't know, something happened with her business.
Yeah, and maybe the ex-fiance, had kind of wanted a wife that was kind of gonna be there to serve him, and that was not her her
Like
goal. So
yeah.
I like it. All right, so we've got our businesswoman whose ex-fiance wanted his wife to stay at home. We've got our bar owner with a bit of a bad boy vibe.
Which is hard job too, but it's just not. I don't ever want to.
No, yes,
suggest that that's not its own.
I stay at home with my kids. Not easy.
Can it be a motorcycle riding bad boy? Because I really like my bad boys on motorcycles.
Yes.
Always a yes to a motorcycle.
I feel like to be in the bad boy club, you get like a motorcycle, just like
and like scruffy hair and a little face scruff.
Get a couple tattoos.
Yes.
Yes, you have to have
he also
tattoos.
gets a leather jacket that he never takes off. Like it's in the package.
Totally.
And he's like working in the bar, so he obviously always has the drinks on hand. All right, so we have our conflict. Each of you guys, can you add one thing to the story? So we'll start with Sarah and go.
I love it when a bad boy like has someone he loves or something he loves. So I feel like he should have a hedgehog. Like, he adores his hedgehog.
Like a moose. Like a
moose. Yes,
I love
exactly.
Hedgehogs are so cute.
All right. I want our bad boy to need our heroine's help with something. Like her expertise from her previous life will come in handy.
So what is she going to help him with?
I don't know. Something.
Oh, wait. Or bad boy is a bar owner. So maybe he needs help with the finances of it.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. Okay.
Or is she a lawyer? Could she be a lawyer?
Yeah.
She could be a lawyer.
She
and some legal trouble, maybe with a previous partner in the bar.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah.
My first thought was actually that he was going to have some adorable little pet, like a tiny little dog. So, so I'm sitting here trying to think, maybe the heroine has like a quirky best friend who comes looking for her and kind of comes in and realizes, hey, the bar owner and you, like, she's going to be the matchmaker a little bit, and encourage that to happen.
You have to have a sidekick. That's right.
I love a best friend character who's like, don't you see what's going on?
Yeah, kind of have that sounding board, Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So can you tell us like what happened next?
Can they have a little steamy moment after the bar closes one night?
Ooh.
Yes, they can.
Romance, right? I mean,
Yes.
That's what bar tops are for.
That's
why they exist.
I don't know how early we are in the book. I just took it there. It's fine.
Yes, you definitely can have a steamy scene.
Okay, so we have our steam. What next? I want to go back.
So has the ex-fiance shown up yet? I mean, is this where he comes in?
This is where he comes in. So we've got our ex-fiance.
Like and she has to explain to the new bartender what he's doing there and what her relationship was with him.
Okay. What happens with the ex-fiance and the bartender? How do they get along?
I'd say not so well. But maybe the best friend falls for the ex-fiance.
Oh.
Ooh.
I'm totally just spitballing.
You know,
I'm now. I love this.
All right, so the ex has shown up. They talked everything out. Do they get their happily ever after? Kind of what does that look like?
I feel like there has to be some riding off into the sunset on a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. With a hedgehog. Can they like have the hedgehog
In the little like biker jacket
My
and
car for the hedgehog.
Totally.
oh my god, the
Totally.
little goggles.
A little jacket for the hedgehog too.
I love this haircut so much.
Okay, so we're gonna write this as a group and
Yeah.
Y'all are officially writing this. Sorry, I don't know if you knew when you agreed to this.
I'm on
This
board.
is where we're gonna wind up.
I love that. So, guys, can you tell us what your main characters are doing during quarantine?
Did we lose him?
Yep, I think so. Let's continue. Probably she's gonna come back
He'll
later.
pop back in.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what are your main characters doing during quarantine? Can you tell us?
So
Go
mine's
ahead,
kind of. Oh, go ahead.
Go
did I-
ahead.
Okay, mine's kind
Just hit my
of
computer.
I kind of think. Oh,
I got kicked
kinda
off. I don't know what
think
happened.
about this is different. You're back. If it was kind of during like when the book, like occurs like during that time frame, it's kind of hard because, Lauren, who's an oncology pharmacist, would still be going to work like normal because that's what I've been doing. I mean, cancer doesn't take a break. It's not one of the jobs that, is non-essential that shuts down. And Andrew, to be honest, if he was still getting chemo, he would have to go, but then he would be that high-risk population that would have to be really careful about going anywhere else. But if it was kind of after the book and kind of like present day, I think they both would still be really careful. They'd watch a lot of documentaries. That's kind of their thing. They do a lot of Netflix, like real Netflix. Maybe some Netflix and chill too. But, a little bit of both. So that's kind of how I see it.
Definitely. Netflix and chill is necessary. I mean, it's a steamy book, so like let's just
Exactly. Yeah, it's romance.
Sarah?
So my heroine Zoe, she's a reader, so I know she'd be reading. But my hero Graham, he's very high maintenance, and he says he doesn't like people, but he's always bothering people and always like bugging people to spend time with him. So my guess is he would be that guy that's FaceTiming everybody and like constantly bothering everybody during. But even though he owns a diner, he would take any excuse to close. Because he's inherently lazy as well. I know he sounds very sexy, doesn't he? But my lazy high maintenance diner owner would be basically calling everyone, bothering them.
I love him.
That's awesome.
Jennifer?
So this was the what would the main characters be doing during quarantine, right? Sorry, I missed that initial question.
Yes, sorry.
So my main characters, I think they'd be doing it a lot.
Nice.
Good quarantine activity, exercising.
They are very hot and heavy, and they're very passionate, and so I think that's what they would spend a lot of time doing.
I love that.
True.
Right.
Great activity.
So if you could only have one writing snack, what would it be?
Mine's popcorn, I think.
Ooh, yum.
I should say,
Sweet or salty?
Yes, I was gonna ask that.
Oh, the popcorn?
Mm-hmm.
You know that, I don't even know the brand, but you know that one that's in the purple bag? It's like that light, sweet, and salty. Like it's like a light kettle corn. Oh, it's so good. It's sort of the sweet. Yeah.
Mhm.
I am Mexican, so I put hot sauce on my popcorn, and it's all
Oh.
That
I'm a
sounds really
huge wuss
good.
with spice, so that would not work out well. That's awesome.
So Jennifer,
I always have these chewy ginger candies with me.
Ooh.
That's what I use. Yeah, they're like apple ginger flavor candies.
ooh, I love
Sweet little
ginger
spice.
tea.
Yeah.
Sarah?
I eat a lot of string cheese when I write. But if I'm being honest, if I could only have one, it would probably be frozen Reese cups because I can't lose those for the rest of my life.
Okay, so what is the correct portion of Reese's peanut butter to chocolate? Do we like the egg, or do we like the king, like the big size, or the standard?
The egg.
The egg.
The egg. The egg or the pumpkin. Anything.
Oh, the pumpkin is good.
Yeah.
And you mentioned
I'm one of those weird people who doesn't like chocolate. I don't know what you're talking about at all.
But do you like peanut butter?
Yes.
When?
Yeah.
I'll just eat it.
You know, just give you the jar of peanut butter.
Yeah.
Sarah, you mentioned string cheese. How do you eat it? Because that's a big debate. Do you like bite it, or do you?
I do that.
Yeah.
Until
as you should.
and my dog has decided she gets my cheese. So I have never in the last about 3 years I haven't had an actual piece of string cheese that I haven't had to share with her. So I get I string 3/4 of it, and then the last quarter I give to the dog.
Oh,
so,
cute.
Yeah.
That's nice to share.
Or she'll pout. She'll be sad if she doesn't get her cheese. So. Hard to write with a pouty dog. So.
You say no to that face.
Yeah. So if your hero and heroine swap bodies like Freaky Friday style, what would they be up to?
Who wants to go first?
I can go. So my heroine, her name's Addison. She would be hanging out because the whole point is that they both travel across the country and they end up at a bed and breakfast that her grandmother owns. And so she's helping her grandma run the bed and breakfast, and he's a guest in one of the cabins. So she'd be chilling in the cabin, probably watching Netflix or something, or ESPN on her own. And then he would be in the main house with the grandma doing all of the laundry, all the sheets and the towels for all the guest cabins, and helping to prepare the breakfast every morning and all that good stuff.
Nice.
So you
Is he good
think
at
the
laundry?
grandma would notice the change?
Maybe not, actually.
Well, can he fold sheets? That is a very vital
Probably
question.
not. He is a bit of a pampered boy in the previous book where he first shows up. So I don't know that he can fold sheets very well.
Especially not a fitted one. Who does that?
No, who can
Right.
fold a sheet anyhow? I mean,
No, exactly.
Ball is
Wadded up in a ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Sarah.
Okay, so my heroine the hero has a diner, and he spends most of the book trying to get out of working at his diner. So if he switched bodies with her and she's on a vacation, that would be his the perfect thing for him, because he would be day off. And so he would do nothing, and he would enjoy doing nothing. And she would probably run his diner 1,000 times better than he ever has or ever will. So.
That's awesome.
I love that. I just keep waiting for her to take over the diner.
Right?
Yeah. And then they wouldn't want to switch back.
Right.
I think if Andrew was going to Lauren's job as Lauren, he would probably totally eat up being in the kind of physician workroom with her friends, Emma and Kiara, and he would just wax poetic about how wonderful Andrew is. From Lauren's point of view, and just talk about how sexy he is and how she is. And then I think if Lauren or Andrew, because she's kind of a geek, she would probably want to go to one of his law school classes and sit up front and take notes, because she she's one of those people that believes in lifelong learning and would just eat it up. So yeah.
They'll be living the dream.
Yeah.
All right. So if one of your characters went viral, who would it be, and what would they go viral for?
Well, in Tourist Attraction, Graham kind of did. His restaurant went viral, and the more people that came, the less he wanted them there. So he kept trying to drive them out by being very mean to them. And so everyone thought that was his shtick and thought it was one of those places where everyone's mean to you and they're like, hey, this is funny, be meaner to us. And so the ruder he is to his customers, the more they just keep showing up.
Kind of backfire.
So he's stuck. Like, he cannot get away from his job no matter what.
Well, there's restaurants who are like famous because like
Yes.
the waiters are mean to you.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
cry. So,
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
But people go for the
Right.
I think for mine, I could see Andrew maybe going viral before Lauren. She's a little bit quieter, and I can't think of really anything necessarily, but I could see him doing like some fundraiser for like the Children's Hospital that they volunteer at. And just because he's so charming, he would just like take it everywhere. He'd go on Facebook, Instagram, I mean, everything. And I could just see that, to raise money. And he just would, I don't know. She, I think, would just be so quiet about everything, but I could see him taking that and going viral for something like a cause that he believed in.
That's really sweet.
I love that.
So in One Good Thing, I think that it would probably be Addison more than Brady, because Brady is a lawyer. And as far as I know, he doesn't have any like major cases that would like make the news, type of thing. So, but Addison is a baker, and she bakes like really interesting things. Like in the book, she makes these butterscotch blondie brownies, just things like that. So I think she would probably take really like artistic pictures, and her Instagram would like blow up or something. Yeah.
So does the book come with like recipes?
Or
Asking for a friend.
I wish. Oh my gosh. Oh, it sounds so good, right?
Are you a baker yourself?
No, I can't stand baking because I don't like to be precise at all.
I love that. But you clearly appreciate it.
Yeah,
I think
I think I had a sweet tooth when I was writing the book, because it's all over in the book. I'm like all these different treats,
Yum.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
so now let's talk about which scene was the most fun to write and why. I don't know who wants to go first.
For me, that's pretty easy. I think there's a couple scenes where Andrew and Lauren kind of have these pun wars where they kind of try to beat each other they kind of have a theme and they try to come up with the best pun. And most of them happen through text message exchanges. And like, it's fun to write those and read them just because, I don't know, it's just really quick. Like, you're not having to worry about stage action and all that kind of stuff. And it reads and writes really quick. And it's just kind of fun little back and forth. And just puns are hilarious. So I feel like that was the most fun part.
Do you use a lot of puns in real life?
As often as possible. And sometimes it's like dad joke style, because I feel like so many puns, everybody's like, oh, come on, That's why they're so great.
Yeah. A groan is almost as good as a laugh.
I'll take what I can get.
Right.
Jennifer?
So I think my favorite scene to write was near the beginning when, the meet cute, because they're in an airport bar and he's checking her out and she thinks that he's married because he is wearing a wedding ring on his finger. And I'm not going to tell you why. You can figure that out when you read it, but I don't want to give it away. But, so she is furious that he's like checking her out while she thinks he's married. And so she just lays it on him and just cheers him out in front of everybody. And it was fun to write that.
Oh, I love those. Just attention.
Yes. Sarah?
So the hero, Graham, has this moose that is his favorite moose in town, Ulysses. And they've been buddies for a really long time. And so there is an epic man-moose breakup scene. And he has to say goodbye to his moose. And he's devastated. And I tried to write it like if I had written him and her breaking up. And like, so all of like these massive feels and just emotions, but it's actually a moose. And it's Zuna's moose. So that was the most fun to write. Yeah, that was the most fun.
That's awesome.
So you like making us cry.
Well, did you cry? I mean, it's sad. Well, and there's a little bit of seriousness too, because so many people just approach wildlife and they cause problems for wildlife by wanting to take pictures with them and selfies, and you can get hurt. Moose are dangerous. So there is a little bit of seriousness in a fairly lighthearted book with that scene, but also the breakup part. I that was fun.
So I always like to ask, what bevy or beverage would you pair with your book?
Mine's coffee always. I always have coffee. So when I was thinking about what food, like I really don't always write with food, but I always write with a drink, and it's almost always coffee. So to me, that's easy answer.
You have to tell us, hot or iced coffee? Do you include
hot
vanilla?
and black, hot, black, and strong.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a purist when it comes to coffee, and French press.
You are.
Mine back there.
I have one friend who's also in the medical field. She's about to graduate right now, but like she also drinks her coffee black because she drinks so much that it's like if I put sugar on it, it would be just too much.
Oh, I'd weigh 1,000 pounds if I dressed up every cup I drank. Totally. Yeah.
Jennifer?
Sarah?
Oh, there you go.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
So personally, I always drink water because I live in Arizona. I live in the desert, so you just gotta drink water all the time. But if I was reading my book, I would probably want to have like a crisp white wine with it, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, like a chilled, crisp white wine because it takes place in Oregon, and I just feel like that's an Oregon summer. So I just feel like that's a good time to drink a cold white wine.
Mm-hmm.
Nice Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah, exactly.
My evening plans are set, you guys. Sarah?
I drink iced tea, unsweet iced tea when I write. That's my favorite drink. But if I was pairing a drink with my books, it's Alaska, it's outdoorsy, it's lighthearted, it's fun. So I feel like this is like cold beer in a bottle type book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not in a can. We're not beer can book people here. We're gonna fancy it up just a little bit. So we're cold beer in a bottle.
I love that. Cold beer in Alaska.
Yes.
That sounds great.
IPA. We could be an IPA.
Yes.
I gotta tell you, anybody that is watching from Oklahoma that are people I know, when you said unsweet tea, they all had a mini stroke. We are like sweet tea people here.
I know.
I'm in Tennessee right now, and it's a huge sweet tea area, but it's delicious. I know I shouldn't drink it. I wish I could.
I'm in Alabama, and I'm like, I never hear unsweet tea.
Yeah.
Same. I'm from Houston, so it's like.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Right.
So now we're gonna go into individual questions. Allison, so in the real world, you're a clinical oncology pharmacist, which means you're a hero. And thank you so much for the work that you do. I love that you have written a book that sees hope where most people wouldn't. How was this job shaped you as a writer, and how has it helped you get through the tougher aspects of your job?
I think when I set out to write this book, I am one of the believers in how, the romance genre should end in a happy ever after. And, it's not super traditional to write a book that includes someone with cancer that's going to end that way. But, and I certainly don't want to downplay any of the, kind of more tragic endings of cancer, because I certainly have seen that. But I also do see people have good outcomes. And I think there's always hope, no matter, what stage somebody is in their cancer journey. And that's something that I wanted to kind of portray, that there are, good outcomes, and that there are people that are going to stand behind you and fight no matter what. I think a big part of why I wrote it too is there's very few books from the provider standpoint. And for me personally, I wouldn't be able to do this job without kind of my colleagues who go through it with me. So like Lauren's close relationship with her, PA and the nurse and the physicians, that's kind of how we're able to do a job that's kind of tough. When you do, become invested in your patients, probably not quite as invested as Lauren did, but, when you become close to patients. So I think it was important to me to show some of the hard times, but also to show that there is hope in it. And kind of romance, reading it and writing it is a way for me to kind of come back to a happy place after a rough day too. So.
I love that. Yeah. So Jennifer, one good thing follows Allison and Brady as they learn to take a chance on love again and kind of grow from their heartbreak. What do you do as an author to really get to the heart of your characters?
So I write a lot of like my own personal experiences into my characters. So I don't have to spend like a whole lot of time like getting deep into my characters because I feel like I'm already there, so it's just a lot easier to write about things that you yourself have experienced. So that's what I do.
I love that. Sarah, this is a perfect summer romance about a summer fling turned real thing that is set in Alaska, but not the beach. How did you choose for this story to take place in Alaska? And what was your favorite thing about Alaska that you were able to work into the tourist attraction?
I was actually up there a couple years ago doing research for a different book. And a friend came with me, and while we were there, she wanted to do a lot of the sightseeing stuff. So we kept doing these little tourist attraction type things, and they all kept going wrong, but comically wrong. You go whale watching and no whales show up, and it just silly stuff happened. And so that was when I had the idea that this would actually make a fairly funny rom-com type of situation. But what I loved out there was the mountains. We travel a whole lot, and anytime we're somewhere that has mountains, I'm a very happy person. So I did my best to put as much of the mountains as I could into the series.
Mountains are gorgeous.
I heard, yes. And I heard Alaska is absolutely stunning. And
it's gorgeous. Yeah, it's really, really neat.
Excuse me. So Allison, in A Perfect Distraction, Lauren and Andrew take chances that risk Lauren's job and Andrew's life, but also make it worth living. Let's say in their adventures, our couple found their way into a karaoke bar. What are Lauren and Andrew going to sing, and are they any good?
Lauren would hate this because she's not one that wants to be, put on stage, but she would totally do it because he asked her to. But I think they would both be terrible. I don't think either of them are good singers, but they would enjoy it. And I kind of envision Andrew picking. He kind of gives her a hard time about, oh, well, you're from Oklahoma, so you must like country music, and that's not true about me or her. So that's something I wrote into her. But so he would pick, just to egg her on, probably some country duet, like a Tim McGraw, old school "It's Your Love" with Faith Hill, and it would annoy the crap out of her because she would know the song, even though she wants to pretend she doesn't, because anybody from Oklahoma knows that song. So she would be annoyed that he picked it and that she knows it. And so they would sing that, and they would sing it terribly, and it would be adorable.
Oh my God, I love that. Jennifer, yes. Your books pack a big punch emotionally. How do you unwind after writing particularly antsy or emotional scene?
Oh, I don't even feel like I get the chance to unwind after something like that because my kids are young. So they're like, oh, you're out of the office? Great, let's go. But there was one, I have one of them who's currently cracking the door and asking me a question too right now. She always tried to knock me out the window and I ignored her. So anyway. Please close the door.
Can we do some text?
Yes.
I have those downstairs.
That was my fault.
I locked myself upstairs.
I didn't lock the door. What was wrong with me? Anyway, I don't even remember what I was saying. Yeah. Oh, there was one particular scene in a previous book that I wrote that was like so emotionally taxing. It just took like everything out of me. And I took a nap after I wrote it. And I was crying while I was writing it. And so I was like, I'm done. I have to go to bed.
The end. We'll try again tomorrow.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh. So Sarah, I loved the addition of the moose in the tourist attraction. He was both hilarious and absolutely heart-wrenching. I did cry.
I'm sorry.
If you had an animal sidekick, what would it be?
I kind of do. I have this super cute little pit bull named Sammy, and we travel like about 10 to 11 months out of the year, usually when we're not in a pandemic. And so she's always with me. And so she's theoretically my sidekick, but she actually loves my dad a whole lot more than she loves me. So I think for her, in her mind, my dad is her sidekick. So it's a one-sided relationship right there. But I also really like baby goats in pajamas. So I would be all for a baby goat sidekick if she left me for my dad.
I love that. Okay,
I have a little screaming goat thing on my desk at work. It's like one of those little things that you just push it and it like makes this horrible little scream, and it has a little book about screaming goats.
Have you seen the baby goats jumping? Like where they don't walk,
And
they just like jump.
And they bounce sideways.
Yeah, you can't have a bad day if you're watching.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
I just recently discovered fluffy cows, and I didn't know they existed. And they're like super cute. Hold on.
The Highland cows.
I've never heard of those.
They're my phone screen because like
Oh my God.
they're so fluffy.
I love it.
I discovered them like 2 weeks ago, and I'm obsessed with them.
Your Instagram feed is like all fluffy cows now. Yeah.
Basically. I have people who send me like, hey, I live right next door to one, and they just send me pictures.
Too cute.
Sarah, I just have to know, like, you know, a reindeer is not the same as a moose, but like, do you imagine your main character like singing like all the Frozen songs? I don't know if you're familiar with them.
The whole Let It Go song.
Reindeers
are better than people.
That is precious.
That's so funny.
That would be
there's a GIF I use on Twitter a lot where they're like the reindeer is like licking the screen to show his happiness, and I'm like, yes, this represents me like a lot.
Spirit.
Yeah, that GIF is my spirit. My
sidekick.
spirit GIF. Yeah.
All right, you guys, we are going to do a fast lightning round to close this out. It's really simple. We're just going to throw out a list of things, and you pick one, whichever one you think of first. So we'll go Jennifer, Allison, Sarah for this one. Michelle, you want to go?
Oh, okay. If you have infinite new books you can read, but they all end sad, or you can only reread the happy ending books you have read, which one do you pick? So you read new books, but with a sad ending, or reread books with a happy ending?
I would reread books with a happy ending.
Same. Yeah. I intentionally seek out happy ending books.
Yeah.
I can't. Like, the world is sad enough on its own. So.
Yeah.
Same. I'm a rereader anyways, so I'd rather reread.
Mm-hmm.
Me too. I love rereading books, but especially when I know how they end, because I don't have like the angsty feeling. Like,
Yeah.
I already know. So good.
You can just kind of enjoy and relax while you enjoy it. Yeah.
Yes. All right. You are dropped into a book as the leading lady on a vacation and fall in love. Where in the world would you be on this vacation?
Maldives.
Ooh.
It's funny to Sarah. Mine's actually, I'm also a mountain girl, and I have spent a couple weeks in Alaska and love it there. So I probably actually would pick somewhere like Alaska, or I've never been to like the Swiss mountains, like something like that, but that would be my style.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I'm supposed to be in Alaska right now, today.
Oh, no.
I was supposed to fly out yesterday.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
Me too.
Maybe another time.
Just a few days ago, Taylor and I, BookCon is supposed to be happening also. So we were supposed to be in New York.
Oh, there's so much. Yeah.
Where would you go, Sarah?
We spent some time in Denver last year, and I love the Rocky Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say
Gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful place.
Mm-hmm.
Your book is turned into a movie. Who do you think will be playing the main character? Like, do you have actors in mind?
Henry Cavill for Brady.
Nice.
Sure. He's very tall. He's dark and handsome. He has like the total good boy. Like Brady's a good boy.
Okay.
So he would definitely. That's like perfectly Brady. But I don't know about Addison. I feel like I'm not up on like the current actresses, young actresses.
So I'm assuming you fell in love with Henry in Superman instead of, because he did The Witcher.
Not The Witcher.
I mean The Witcher, Henry Cavill. I mean Superman.
Am I up? Sorry. So I'm one of those people.
Henry Cavill.
I'm one of those people that I do like I make Pinterest boards and I like visualize everything. So I had envisioned Emma Stone as Lauren, being a redhead and kind of that. So she's who I had pictured. And then for Andrew, so I had always pictured, and just because, you know, I'm on this and I'm, you know, my brain, his real name is escaping me, but Kevin on This Is Us.
Hartley, Justin Hartley.
Yes, Justin Hartley. Thank you. He's who I always pictured for Andrew, but then, which I still am, I'd still be fine with that. But a reader also said that she pictured Chris Evans, and I was like, I'm fine with that too. So yeah. I mean, either could be cast as long as I was involved in the process.
I need to be part of this.
I know. Well, you know, there is a real job in the movies where like somebody has to like put oil on the apps so they look shiny.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want that job. That's my dream job. That's
I volunteers for you.
Oh my god.
Sarah?
I'm not really good with a lot of actors and actresses' names. So I think Anna Kendrick for Zoe. She could be a good Zoe. I'm just going to say Jason Momoa for all male characters because I know him, I know what he looks like, and we'll just make him, we will make him fit.
I love that. Well, having Anna Kendrick, you have to write a musical in. And
actually, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No. And I was going to say that Jason, I don't know if he sings, but we can make it work.
Did you, New Girl, the bartender on New Girl, Nick, there's a lot of readers that have said that Graham reminds them of Nick.
I love New Girl. And
yeah,
like kind of grumpy and kind of lazy and like,
yeah.
It's perfect.
I feel like
lazy and sarcastic.
It sounds funny what you described, yeah.
That's perfect, yeah.
I love that.
Now I want to see him and Anna Kendrick just go at it in a movie. Like they would be perfect because
oh my gosh, their banter would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that. All right. And last one, what is your favorite weather to write during?
Rain, because we never get it here. So it's very novel and exciting and it sounds pretty.
I'd want kind of a cooler day. You know, Oklahoma gets miserably hot in the summer and I hate it. But I do love being outside if it is. So like to me, it's like when I can wear like a sweatshirt, but like not have to, I don't know. So like maybe like 50s, 60s, and it just being nice and sunny, but not too crazy, not tornado-y.
So you can sit on the porch and have a cup of coffee without breaking a sweat.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sarah?
Probably rainy, because I've actually hurt my eyes a little bit staring at screens. I always forget to blink. So, you know, PSA to anyone who writes, blink as often as you can when you're writing. So if it's kind of overcast, there's less glare on my screen, which makes it easier for me to work for longer. So I would say any overcast days.
It's good to know.
Rainy days are just the best, and but like it just makes me want to do nothing. I
feel like that's the universal author, like we love rainy days with our, computers and our drinks, and we're just happy.
Right.
It's the perfect Pinterest aesthetics. Like
yeah.
Or the cheese stick. Our rain and our cheese stick.
And the cheese stick will not melt because it's not too hot.
Yes.
True.
All right. Well, you guys, thank you all so much for joining us today. I have had an absolute blast. Don't forget to check out these ladies' books. We have links on the post if you want to go check them out. And we are going to have some giveaways posted in a little bit. Thank you guys, and y'all have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.